brakes on. We knew you were coming. Oh, I know, traffic. They didn't believe me. All right, so I'll start the meeting with Pledge of Allegiance if you guys want to join me. They thought I was making an excuse.
I appreciate it. It's legit.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Yeah, luckily there's not a big turnout to discuss tonight because I think everybody would be stuck on 116th Street. So.
Westbound is nuts.
I know.
I would stop and go all the way from Cumberland all the way here.
I know.
I actually went down Cumberland and went 106 and came around because I sat and sat and sat.
Yeah, it was bad out there. See, I was not lying about being late to the meeting before this. All right, so roll call.
Yes. Mr. Bassett.
Present.
Mr. Fensky.
Present.
Mr. Huck.
Present.
And Mr. Richards.
Here.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the previous minutes from October 28th, 21. Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, cool. We'll start the public hearing. So if the petitioner wants to stand up, announce yourself, and tell us what you're working on here for VA 2146 and VA 2147.
Is this on? Yeah. Hi, I'm Tony Sim, and we just acquired the property south of us. And there's a pole barn on there that we want to keep without the house. I guess that's why I'm here. And we've been using the barn for storage only for the last 4 years, and we would really like to keep this barn. The value of it is about $80,000 to $100,000 to have it replaced, and that's why I'm here. And all the neighbors, I don't think anyone objected, at least I don't know of anyone. Neighbors had called me, I gave you a couple of text messages, verbally talked with many of them, and everybody is like, sure, it's been there, keep it.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Cool, thanks. All right, so staff, are we gonna do open?
Yeah, staff can make their presentation and then open it up for the public hearing. Okay.
In case somebody comes running in from the hallway.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, gents. Presented before you today is VA 21-46 and 47. These are two petitions, one for land use and one of development standards. The petitioner is Tony Sim. The address in question is 10172 Hoosier Road.
Jonah, I don't know if you have a presentation pulled up, but we don't see it on the screen.
Oh, I do. That hasn't happened before. Oh, there it is. Never mind. What was I saying? The current zoning of the lot is R2. It was formerly a single-family residential use. And the scope of the two petitions today is approval of a land use variance to permit for primary use of storage within a residential zone, and approval of a development standards variance to permit for a secondary structure without a primary structure. Regarding the land use variance, as we can see in section 5.1.5, within the R2 zone, no industrial uses are permitted and storage is considered an industrial use. The second petition sought is of the residential accessory structure standards found within Article 6 of the UDO. As shown, we can only as shown, we can see that accessory structures such as a barn are permitted only if customarily incidental to a primary use, are located on the same lot, and are operated under the same ownership. While the barn is indeed owned and operated by the homeowner, it is not located on the same lot, nor is it incidental to the primary use of the lot. This diagram depicts the region of fissures in which this property is located. The property is located south of 116th and north of 106th. This is a local view of the property. Here we can see Ms. Sims' primary residence to the north and her barn to the south. The home on the second lot has since been demolished. As we can see here, the two properties are separately recorded. The UDO specifically maintains that compliance is viewed in terms of lots, not in terms of property. So if you have two lots, the standards apply separately to them, even if they're owned and operated the same. As such, the southern lot is not compliant. This slide depicts the zoning. Both lots are R2. Here are some pictures of the existing barn. As we can see, the barn is large, fenced, and mostly screened from all sides. Furthermore, these pictures show that it is entirely used for storage. At the time of writing the staff report, we have not received any public comments. That is a lie. I know I did receive one, and I put it into the staff report. We have received 4 letters of support, 1 letter of I don't care, and 1 letter of concern, which has since been dealt with, and their letter of concern has been rescinded. The staff has no recommendation to the board. Staff feel the request does not significantly threaten the health, safety, and welfare of the general public, nor will the continued operation of the barn substantially affect the neighborhood or surrounding property owners. If the board is so inclined, staff have the following commitments that we suggest to be tied to approval. The homeowner agrees to signing a letter of non-remonstrance regarding annexation as a condition of approval. The property cannot presently not be annexed legally into the city of Fishers. The variance expires upon a change of ownership, land use, or zoning of the property, or in a change of use of the barn itself. The primary land use of storage is permitted only for the barn as presented tonight. The homeowner agrees that the barn is not substantially altered or enlarged, and that the variance approval letter is recorded on the property with the county. This final commitment to consider was part of the letter that has since been rescinded, but is still considerable, that trees be retained or planted to screen the barn from the southern property line at no less than 1 tree per 10 feet of the side of the barn facing the southern property line. With that, I am available for questions.
All right. I guess we'll technically open up for the public here, but since I don't see anyone. We'll close the public hearing, and we'll just open up for questions on the board if you guys have anything for the petitioner or staff.
My only question would be the one that says the variance expires on change of ownership. So thinking back to a previous situation, they decide to put that individual parcel up for sale, someone buys it, so they're immediately in violation. So explain how that process would work if new owner wanted to retain a owner.
So I would say before the property transferred ownership, they would need to contact our office and either seek another variance through the Board of Zoning Appeals or submit a building permit for a primary residence on that property.
And that would be the only reason why I would sell it at this point. We have no plans on selling this property.
What would be the only reason?
Is to actually build something on it. And that would just be, and it was probably gonna go to my daughter. So it may stay in our ownership, who just got engaged.
Sure.
And just
Good
to
point.
clarify, the purpose of that condition is really to prevent the issues that we saw with that last petition, to make sure that it's not resold to someone else who's just gonna retain ownership of that and just have a barn on the property without a primary residence.
Yeah, because I would not allow that next door to me. So
Sure.
I can even put that in writing.
Yeah, I mean, that's, my mindset was just
Yeah.
avoiding that situation. So that you believe commitment would do that. That's all I have on that part.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, if changing this just permits the current not having a primary structure, but it doesn't prohibit them from putting a primary, they don't have to come back and do anything, put a primary on, right?
Correct, it's zoned R2, so they would be allowed to build a home on the property if they wish.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions. You guys? Okay. I'll make a motion to vote favorably, or to, how do I wanna approve this one? To approve the request for VA 2146 and VA 2147.
Yep, and then I would just mention any of the conditions that you'd like added to that approval.
Conditions as listed by staff.
And did you want to include the commitment of the trees that be retained or planted?
She was, can I, sorry.
Yeah, so we'll pull back and let's clarify, that's a good point.
So
I think
clarify,
retention's
so
different.
apparently, this was okay, so there is a full double tree line already there. And there is a bigger tree that there is a pink tape tied around it that somebody else had put around there. And she thought we had done it. And I don't know why. And apparently it's somebody who is working on the ditch that is going on there. And I have no idea. And this is what I told her. We did not put it on there. I don't know if they come and remove that tree, that's up to the county to remove a tree, not me, because I would never remove a tree.
It may be in relation to the drainage to the roundabout at 106th and Hoosier.
And that, it could be even that. So, and we're way away from that roundabout. We're pretty far down, but there is a drainage issue there on my side, well, and across the street. And so I told her it wasn't us, and I'm not removing any trees, and she was fine with that today. So that was the whole thing about the commitment for the trees, and that's been resolved.
So if we left retention in there and took out the add trees, but if the county or city decides to take anything down, that doesn't put her in violation if something has to be removed because of drainage? Would that put it in violation?
Yeah, so I guess you could, if you wanted to keep a condition that the trees be retained, you could add that condition excluding any trees that are removed for the purposes of a public utility.
Okay.
Or you could just not consider that commitment. That's up to the board. Staff doesn't really have an opinion on, we of course want to see trees preserved when possible, but in this case, I don't know if it's necessary to add it as a condition if that southern property owner has no additional concerns and it's been resolved.
It sounds like the petitioner has no desire to remove them unless otherwise required by said utility or,
Right.
I'm fine with it, not even thinking of that, just based on who it is.
because if a tree had to be removed, there's likely a good reason that one could not be replanted in that same location.
Correct, yeah. And we do find it hard as staff to enforce commitments such as these, just because once the tree's been removed, it's removed. We can't, go back in time and prevent them from removing it. And so it's kind of, it's challenging to enforce these types of conditions, especially without a tree inventory of what's there today.
And I think this is where this complaint stems from, because the community that falls directly behind her property, they had removed old trees that she had in writing with the developer, and they're all gone. And she was not, and again, I remember those trees coming down too, but it never touched my property, and did not know that she was very angry about that, and she still is. So I told her, we'll keep the tree, but I have, besides the county coming in.
Okay, so as we move to approve this, we can just approve as commitments were delivered by staff minus the tree retention. We don't need to go through all those.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay.
Petitioners looked at those, has no objection to any of those commitments voluntarily?
None.
Okay, cool. I'll make a motion to favorably approve VA 2146 and VA 2147 with the staff's conditions and commitments as outlined, minus the tree retention and adding 1 tree per 10 feet. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Okay.
Minus the tree addition,
Tree addition.
not tree retention.
Or are we taking the whole?
You want the tree retention.
Okay, I thought we were just gonna leave the entire thing off.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'd say the motion that's on the floor right now is to remove that condition that condition entirely and just retain the first 5 conditions we see on the screen.
Yeah,
And do we have a second on that?
I
Yeah,
second.
we did. So we'll do roll call and vote.
Mr. Fenske, is that your second?
I second
Yes.
it, yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Bassett,
Yes.
Mr. Fenske,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
and Mr. Huck.
Yes.
Thank
All right.
you.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you. I get my storage unit still.
Yes.
Thank you,
You'll be in
gentlemen, I
compliance.
appreciate that.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonah.
Yep. All right, so we will believe that completes all the business for tonight. Anything old or new? Any staff communication?
Only staff communication is we do have the 2022 meeting schedule posted, so if you guys want to take a look at that, if you have any questions, please let me know. And then I don't know if we'll have a January meeting, but the next scheduled meeting, we are planning to bring the rules of procedure before you guys for review, so just be prepared for that.
That's when we take a quiz on this.
Yep, exactly.
I think I'm on vacation that month. All right. Do we need to do anything for the findings of fact? And then we'll just sign them after the fact. All right, I'll close the meeting.
Thanks, guys. Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yep, thank you.